Welcome back on the show. It is time to bring in our next guest here for Kansas Sports Chatter, and that is Brandi Fowler, head coach of the Liberal High School girls basketball team. Coach, appreciate you coming on this show. For you, this time of the year, like, what's it mean? Like, when you're getting in that final month of the regular season, what's the mentality like?
It's you've kind of gotten your team figured out. They've gotten each other figured out, and now it's just time for that final stretch. It's the second half of the season. A lot of league games are coming up, so you typically know those teams really well, a lot better than the rest of the season teams that you've played. It's starting to become more real, I think, especially for the seniors that are on the team, like, oh, this is the last time we're going to do this. So just really trying to make it special for all of the kids, but especially for those seniors.
You mentioned figuring out your team, and you always want to see the growth from the start of the season to the end of the season. But what was your thought process before the season started as far as what you thought you had coming back this year?
Well, lucky for us that we were pretty young as far as playing time went last season. So we had a good idea. We did lose 4 seniors. A couple of them were starters. Another one got some significant playing time. And then we had a 4th senior. So we pretty much knew what we had coming in as far as our upperclassmen went. But as far as the underclassmen, it's just kind of waiting to see how they fit into everything and seeing how they perform when it's high stakes varsity basketball.
What did you see from some of those youngsters? Like, how long does it usually take for some of those youngsters to kind of at least get a feel for things and feel settled in?
It just depends on the kid, of course, and the position, I think, has a lot to do with it too. You definitely ask different girls to do different things based on the position. We have a pretty young post right now in Malia Mullins. So just, convincing her about her strength and, the things that she has to do in order to bang with the big girls down there. So that was her. And then we have a couple juniors that are guards that we really needed to step up. So seeing how they handle the pressure and, seeing are they going to be more drive? Are they going to be able to drive and get the ball downhill? Are they going to be able to catch and shoot where we need them to? So really it was position specific for us.
You talk about developing a post player, and I'm not saying every team still has them, they're still used, but, I think you're seeing like styles of play maybe go away from some of the, the taller post players. But like for you, like what's key in developing a good post player?
Well, there's a lot. I think making sure that you catch the ball first and foremost. You got to catch the ball. You got to have really good footwork. I think that although, everyone's moving to more positionless basketball, I think there's still a place for post girls that play down low, that really get after the boards, that can really post up, gives you a good advantage. So definitely post moves, definitely making sure that she catches everything, or all the girls down there that catch everything, and making sure that they're a good passer out of that position. I think that's definitely underestimated as far as what a post can do.
How important is the prep work before you even get the ball? I always talk about positioning and making sure you're in that right spot and hurrying down the court. Like how big is that for post players?
I think it's huge. I think it matters if you're going to get the ball or not. And then not just looking open, because I think sometimes we look open, but we don't really have a good seal on our man. And so I kind of tricks some of our guards sometimes into thinking that she's open when, maybe she doesn't have a good enough seal to keep that defender back. So there's definitely a lot of prep work that goes into before you even get the ball at the post.
For your guards, getting that entry pass in, like how much is that ingrained in their head? Okay, I need to make sure I'm looking inside. Like your style of offense, how big is that?
We really preach inside out basketball. We really try to get it inside just about, if not every time down the floor. But it changes from year to year. It just depends on your personnel. In our opinion, we think your personnel really matters. So this year just happens to be a year that we really do look to go inside, where other years, we might have more pure shooters on the outside, where that's not necessarily something that has to happen. So we just take it year by year and look at the personnel that we have. We're blessed here in Liberal, Kansas. girls basketball is pretty popular and it's very supported by our community. So we knock on wood. We have a new batch of girls that come up. It seems like every season that we just need to develop and just kind of fit them into our system, or we adjust the system around them. Just depends.
Brandi Fowler, head coach of the Liberal High girls basketball team, joining us here on the show. You mentioned that popularity and just the excitement. How fun was it for you when you took over as head coach 6 years ago? Just kind of building on the success of Liberal basketball.
I don't know if fun is the word. Taking over for a back-to-back undefeated team, I don't know that I would use the word fun. A lot of pressure is what it felt
Expectations
like.
are high, huh?
Yes, definitely. But the reason you get into this is because you love the girls. You have a passion for the sport, but I think more than just having a passion for the sport, it's just the love of the girls. And, we knew that we had a good thing going here, and I was an assistant for a long time. Didn't think that I was ready. Still don't know if I am ready, but it's just been a really fun ride. And every year, just getting to make those connections with the girls is just something special that we truly, truly appreciate.
How was it easier, like you mentioned, like being an assistant for a number of years before taking over the head coaching position? Like, did that make that transition easier? Just like, you had a very good view and a very good feel for the program?
Well, I don't know, because that was the first time I ever transitioned from assistant to head varsity coach anyway. I was head coach at different levels, but I think it's just different at the high school level, especially when you're coming from the coach that I was so blessed to coach under was Carter Kruger, and he had such great experience coming into the position. And I thought I knew a lot of things. And then I just learned so much from him. And I'm like, how much do I keep leaning on him? How much do I kind of try to make it our own? So it was just a balance, but I do not think it was an easy transition at all.
What was Carter like, just in practices? I got to know him a little bit when he was at Barton Community College, but what was his style like? And it always just kind of seemed like he was always tinkering with things, trying to find something new. So, like, what was his style like?
Yeah, I don't know that he ever stops thinking about basketball. If you have a napkin and a pen, he's drawing up a set or a defensive look or something, it's always about trying different things. He is super intense. He has really high expectations. He has high expectations for, I think, everyone around him and everything that he does in life, but especially the girls, especially his assistant coaches. I can't thank the guy enough for all of the things that I learned from him. He's a special friend of mine still today. Unfortunately, him and Jenny moved far away from us. I think they're in El Dorado now, but he's a special guy, super intense, and basketball IQ out the door. I mean, he's awesome.
Good guys. You talk about special season for you. It's been fun watching the success that you guys have had already so far in the season. Now getting, like you said, kind of into the thick of things. Like, what has made this team so special? Like, what has stood out to you through the first, over half of the season so far?
I think it's just their ability to come together. We have had some adversity of course, on the floor, but also off the floor. We've struggled with certain things that we needed to overcome, but it feels like these girls, it doesn't matter what gets in their way. They're always going to find a way to find each other, to make sure that they're supporting each other. The growth in this team and the amount of improvement that we've seen all season long is second to none. And they're just a really fun group to be around. They make us laugh every day. Yeah. We had a fun team dinner last night, and just the memories that they remember and the way they remember stories is just really fun to be around. They're great kids off the floor. They're top of their classes. You don't have to worry about them, getting in trouble or anything like that. And they love to get in the gym. They love to get shots up. They love to get in the gym, and they love to be around each other. So all good attributes of a good team.
I'll say. I mean, you look at the season, I'm only a couple of blemishes, but what did you take from maybe that Hayes game? And I know the Oklahoma schools. So, what did you kind of take from those two games?
We just, the Hayes is a really good team. Hayes
Yeah.
is a really good team, and we had just come from 3 games in Salina that we played really hard. We didn't feel like, as a coaching staff, that we had played our best basketball yet, even though we came out with dubs in those games. It felt like we were still missing some things, and Hayes really exposed the things that we needed to work on before we had a chance to really get after it and work on them. So it was just a lot of learning. That's what, we tell the girls all the time. It's cliche. Everybody says it, you win or you learn. And, we were fortunate that we got to learn some lessons and still got some wins. But then, like I said, Hayes just really exposed us with all their talent, and the things that we weren't doing well, they totally capitalized on. So we learned a lot from that. The Oklahoma game, that game is one that, man, we wish we had back. We really wish we had that one back, because I don't think it should have ended the way it did. But is what it is, and we only control what we can. So we're going to move forward.
What were some of those lessons that you learned, and some of the things that you wanted to clean up after those games?
Handling pressure is definitely something that we needed to do a lot better. Strength with the ball. Hayes has really good inside game. Their girls are strong. The girls in Woodward, Oklahoma, they're real strong too, so just making sure that we value each possession, taking care of the ball, making sure that we're really great screeners on the offensive end and taking advantage of what we want to see offensively. And then we are huge about defense, and we were allowing girls to get downhill. We were allowing them to get to the basket. We weren't getting out to shooters sometimes. So those were all things that were really important to us. And then one thing that will drive us crazy, especially myself, is if we don't win the rebounds. And we weren't winning the rebounds in a lot of those games. So that's something that we really take pride in. That's one of those gut check things. Sure. I think that's just rebounding, and just that ball is a loose ball. If it's not in somebody's hand, it is a loose ball. So you go out and get it like we own it. So that's something that we've definitely gotten better at. We haven't played in it feels like a month,
yeah,
actually. So we're excited to finally get back on the floor.
Last question for you, Coach. I mean, I think every high school gym, or at least there's so many unique gyms throughout the entire state, and certain things that make it special. But the Big House is always kind of one of those for me. Like, in the WAC, like what's so special about the Big House, and how much fun is it just coaching there and playing there?
It's literally a big house. It's huge. There is so much seating for crowds. When we get a big crowd, it is just electric. And, it's not one of those gyms that's loud because of the acoustics or anything like that, or because of the way it's set up. Hayes has a brand new gym, and it's beautiful, but it feels like they are on top of you. They're really steep. The Big House is not like that. Everybody's spread out. If it's loud in there, it's because it is huge, and there are so many people that can fit in there. And the community of Liberal loves their kids. I know everyone says that everywhere, but they just truly love their kids. They come out. They don't care if it was, their personal kids or kids that they knew down the block from, however long ago. They're there to support them, and they come out whether they have a dog in the fight or not. They're here to cheer on Liberal pride, and it's really big in this town, and it's really fun to be a part of.
Any game that stands out that it might have been the loudest in the Big House? Like, any games that stand out to you?
Any of our sub-state championship games. I remember when I was an assistant coach, and we finally made it to state in the sub-state championship against I think it was Bishop Carroll. I don't remember. But it was so loud in there. We could hardly hear each other in the timeouts. It was so great. But we've had a lot of great crowds. The last 2 or 3 years, we've hosted the sub-state championships and fell short, unfortunately. But the crowds are just amazing, especially when it comes to that part of the season. And this year, our rowdy crowd and the rest of our fans have been way better than we've seen in the regular season in the last few years. So that's been really fun.
Love that place. Hey, Coach, appreciate the time, and best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you having me on. Appreciate your time.
You bet. That's Brandi Fowler, head coach of the Liberal girls basketball team. We'll have more of the show after this break.